You're in your 30s or 40s. Your body clock is ticking. Your fertility is dropping with every passing year. You want a baby. You don't have a man and you don't want a one-night stand. What do you do? This film is about the 21st century solution to the problem. Meet Sven, Olaf and Johannes, Danish babies who grew up and became sperm donors. You can now buy frozen straws of their sperm on the internet and ship them anywhere in the world. Sperm supplies dwindled in Britain and other countries when they banned anonymous donations. Danish sperm banks had no such ban, so demand for their sperm grew, turning Denmark into the sperm capital of the world. A generation of Viking donor children is now being created. This is the brave new world where women don't need men anymore. The Vikings are coming, and traditional family life may never be the same again.
He honestly is a little Viking. It's just astonishing.
All these children were made using Danish donor sperm. All their mothers are single women or same-sex couples. What's surprising is the different stories of how the babies were created, how long it took, how much it cost, how hard it was, and how very, very determined you have to be to become a mother this way.
I was 45 years old when I had him. After 4 years or so of treatment, 12 goes, most of them IVF. I spent a small fortune. I stopped counting probably when it got above 65, 70,000 or so.
I've spent a lot of time living in Denmark. I went out there 9 times in total. The longest I was out there was 4 months.
To have twins at 48, I have felt occasionally overwhelmed, but I've never ever felt that it was the wrong decision. It was always the right decision.
Sorry, I'm just twisting you off. You lucky thing.
There's something rather weird about spending Sunday morning in bed with your partner, looking for sperm. Like many other women, Kel and Anna discovered that only the Danish sperm banks have exactly what they're looking for.
Right, so this is what you see. These are all big sturdy Vikings.
Why Denmark? How did you end up there, for God's sake?
We didn't know anything about Denmark. We didn't know that Denmark had, you know, such an amazing system of distributing sperm around the world. We didn't know.
Am I in any way covered up?
Yeah.
Do you want to help us pick a donor or not?
Yes.
Okay.
It's the shop that offered us everything we wanted, and it is a shop. It's like going on Amazon looking for a CD.
Type. Anonymous or anonymous. Right, so obviously these are men.
These are men
that cannot be contacted. And these are men that don't really mind having a whole load of stray children turn up on their doorstep one day.
Here, if you want to buy sperm, they basically say, you know, the only information you get is this is a man, he has brown hair. Whereas in Denmark, you get pictures, you get a little note that he's written himself as to why he donates, and it gives you so much detail about the kind of man that this is. Obviously, he's going to have a genetic impact on our child, so we want him to be super cool, and we want to know as much as we can about him.
So let's pick one that looks like he could possibly be for us.
I'm not sure about the photo, but I think it's quite cute, though.
I don't like him.
You don't like him?
No.
We look together and we look individually, and pretty much every time either of us in front of a computer, we're not playing online games. We're looking for sperm donors.
Did you spend a long time choosing your donor?
I've spent ages choosing my donor.
It's a bit like internet dating.
It's just like internet dating, and I've got this vision in my mind about what he looks like. I'm like, oh no, I wouldn't fancy him. No, you won't have him. So, oh, he does that for a job? No, I don't find that attractive.
What is it, Gemma, you're looking for?
Perfection? No.
Gemma is 40 years old and single. She's been told she has a year left to have children using her own eggs.
This morning I'm going to yoga. Here we go.
50% of all Danish donor sperm is now being used by women like Gemma. They're often called solo mums by choice. Are all of you doing it because you've given up on men?
I don't think any of us have given up on men at all. I certainly haven't. You know? I believe, I'm just going to do it the other way around. I'm going to have the child first, then meet the man.
Most single women trying to get pregnant using Danish sperm have to go to a private clinic. In the last 12 months, Gemma spent £15,000 and has had 4 failed attempts. Gemma's been told she only has a 2% chance of success.
Am I mad to give it another go?
Are you mad to try something that might not work? I think you have to, at some point, accept that maybe you're going to take a different direction.
Well, I always said I don't think I could actually mentally cope with going much longer than a year of doing this. And this year is virtually, well, it's changed my life completely, and it's not been a happy one. And I don't think I could go through that again. So, I get emotional. So I think I'm going to have a cut-off point. I know if I let myself go now, I think I just sob and sob and sob for hours. I just haven't really let go, and I think that's why I have to do one more go, because only then will I really accept defeat, that it hasn't worked. You hear about all these stories that there are people that defy what all the doctors say, and I just feel that I might be that one that gets through. I get pregnant against all odds, and I can't shake that feeling. I have to believe that I'm going to be that miracle. I hope.
This is Holly. She's 36 years old, gay and single. 2 weeks ago, she flew to a fertility clinic in Copenhagen, where she was inseminated with Danish donor sperm.
Here we are, it's Wednesday, that's my cat Hercules, alright mate? It would be like any other day, only I'm doing my pregnancy test today. Here's my work bag with said pregnancy test, which was in Danish, so they very kindly provided me with English instructions. Anyway, I need to get my skates on because I'm running late for work. It's like motherhood's always been my greatest ambition of all. I can't not be a mum almost, and I feel, well, I imagine that's the same for the other women that are doing it alone, because, this isn't an easy thing to go through. It's bloody hard going through it all on your own. For everyone else, it's just any other day, and for me, it's epic, potentially, and equally, potentially very sad if I don't get the result I'm seriously hankering for. Here goes. Right, so we are done. Back to my desk. I'm going to hand you over to my colleague Tasha so that she can film what comes through. So yeah, I've got the test in front of me, and there is a very definite one line at the moment. As you can see, so yeah, I think we know what that means at the moment. I'm going to give it a little while, but Sadly, I think, that means I haven't been successful in my attempt in sunny Denmark, so...
The very next day, Holly booked her flights and 2 weeks later, she was back on another plane to Denmark.
So here we are on our matching trainers. It's just an average Monday for you, isn't it? Going to a fertility clinic.
Well, that's how I start every Monday morning. Turning up with good friends from the UK, trying to get pregnant with the Vikings.
Holly's hoping to get pregnant by simple insemination. The private clinic in Denmark only charges £400 for this procedure.
Good morning, my name is Holly.
Good morning, Holly.
I've been told that it's around 6 to 7 attempts in order to get success.
So you're braced for quite a long journey?
Yeah, of course. I'm braced for an empty bank account, and I'm braced for more sleepless nights, and I'm braced for everything. In a way, it's kind of preparing you perfectly for motherhood because, you know, this process in itself is exhausting.
Holly's insemination takes only a few seconds.
Okay, so now you want to pay?
She will find out in another 2 weeks' time if it has worked.
I flew out to Denmark to the Stork Clinic in Copenhagen, and I conceived her using sperm from an anonymous Danish sperm donor. If I'd had a baby in Britain, I would not have been able to choose an anonymous donor. One day she did say, "Who's my daddy?" And I just said very calmly, "You know, you don't have a daddy, you have a donor." That's what the advice is, to always tell them the truth. And as she gets older, I'll continue to tell the story and to continue to expand upon it, yeah. Whether that's going to be the right decision, I can't ever say.
Dedicated to become a donor.
Yeah, he's got a bit of story here.
Kel and Anna decided they wanted a non-anonymous donor for their baby, which means that in 18 years' time, their child will have the right to meet his or her donor. Of the 441 donors on the website, only 60 are non-anonymous.
I'll go on to the voice.
Through the years I have had some girlfriends, but since none of them could think out to be a farmer's wife, and I could not imagine anything other than being a farmer, then the relationships had to end. I'm very interested in history, and when I looked in genealogy books, I have often wondered who will remember me in 100 years if I no offspring have. Hope to meet my kids someday.
You've gone all tearful.
Yeah, it's a nice boy.
Okay. Let me see his face.
Ready?
Oh, he's really cute! Look at his face! Look! Yes.
Yeah?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah?
Mm. It's a miracle. It really is amazing.
You can just press some buttons and then it just arrives.
We were saying, weren't we?
It's a massive journey.
It's more difficult to adopt a puppy than it is to actually, you know, order sperm off the internet. You know, you can make a baby easier than you can adopt a puppy or a kitten.
Thank you for your order.
976 quid.
Right, ready? Do you want to press the button?
Yeah, I do. It's like cutting cord, isn't it?
Thank you for your payment. Your payment has been processed successfully and a receipt has been forwarded to your email address. Pleasure doing business with you.
I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Kel and Anna bought their sperm from Denmark's biggest sperm bank.
Buongiorno, Kryos. Yes, of course we can take your order over the phone. Ja, Behandlung hier in Dänemark ist auch möglich.
Pronto, buongiorno.
The company started as a small concern 25 years ago, and today business is booming. There are now 30,000 Cryos Viking babies worldwide. Donors are paid up to £50 per donation, and every day containers of their frozen sperm are shipped out to 70 different countries. Founder Ollie Sue says he dreamt of creating the world's largest sperm bank, and he's well on the way to achieving that ambition. Behind his success is an army of sperm donors, 85% of whom are anonymous. But as demand for non-anonymous donors increases, more and more men are being persuaded to become open donors.
My name is Joachim. I'm 22 years old. I live in Copenhagen with my girlfriend. I study global health and nutrition, and I'm an open donor.
My name is Aske. I'm 29 years old. I have my own company, and I'm a non-anonymous donor.
I'm a 22-year-old student. I live in Denmark in an apartment in Copenhagen, and I recently decided to be an open donor.
My name is Kim. I'm 39 years old. I am married. I have 2 boys, ages 7 and 9, and I'm an open donor.
In 18 years, you could have a whole lot of kids knocking on the door. Does that not worry you?
No, I'm actually kind of excited about it.
Why?
I would love to see what my children would be like. And at the time they can contact me, I will be 40. So that's... I probably have my own wife and kids at that time. So I'm actually kind of excited to see it.
I began doing this at 19. So it's roughly 3 years ago.
That's quite young.
Yeah. Chris made sure I was ready for it by having me speak with a psychologist who analyzed whether or not I was ready for the responsibility, and well, here I sit, so I guess I was approved.
Do you have any idea how many babies your sperm can make?
I think they count, in the donations, they count how many straws that are made. And I think on average, I produce like 5 or 8 or something like that. So that means like 5 to 8 babies every time.
So how many babies, in theory, could you have?
In theory, there could be around 500 to 800.
Really?
On or about.
How many donors that on your books have got more than 100 babies?
I don't have this figure.
Roughly. Is it 10? Is it 5?
It could be 10, yes.
So does that mean in 18 years' time, some of these donors may have hundreds of children turning up?
Yes, and their families. And so that will be enormous many people. It could be a fantastic party.
I have to think about reality rather than fantasy, and I think that's what this whole process is. It's very raw, very base level, you know, actions, emotions. I have the fact that I'm running out of time and I've had 4 failures. This next treatment is my last, and as in with my own eggs. I have started to entertain the idea of never having a family.
Gemma hasn't been out with a man since she began her fertility treatment. Tonight, she's going on her first date in a year.
Right, here goes. Oh my gosh, that's him. I kind of wish I could just stay in and watch Great British Bake Off. I'm not used to this, going on dates. Oh well, here goes. It's in the front of your mind the whole time. You're doing this huge thing, but they don't know this. So someone says to you, so what are you up to? How's life? And you're like, well, you know, work. You know, I have to think of things. I don't make things up, but I have to think of, and I embellish on topics and subjects that really are probably quite boring, because I've got nothing else to say, because I can't say, well, actually, you know, I'm being inseminated next week. You know, you don't, It's just... No. Bit of an icebreaker, I'm sure.
The problem is, Gemma's life is now consumed with getting pregnant.
No. Not ovulating today.
Ovulation, diet, exercise, relaxation, acupuncture, hospital visits, scans. You name it, Gemma is doing it.
I don't think there's anything I haven't done to try and improve my fertility. It's a gruelling routine, really. Tastes all right.
Gemma's desperately hoping to do IVF with her own eggs, one last time. But her eggs need all the help they can get, so the clinic have put her on fertility drugs to stimulate their growth.
You can't pick up your drugs until you've paid. I nearly choked. It was £1,250 for 10 days worth of drugs. I worked out every time I injected, it's £109 an injection, every night. Every night.
A week into the treatment, Gemma gets a call from her doctor.
Gemma, hi, it's Mary. I'm obviously a little bit anxious that not much is happening, and maybe we have to have a chat about this quite seriously.
I'm extremely nervous because I had blood tests 2 days ago, and Mari called me afterwards to say that she was really concerned with the lack of growth.
Do you think one option is to just stop?
Yeah.
And then try again or not? I know.
Does there come a point where I have to say, Gemma, am I helping by encouraging you to try again? The cruelest thing of all, I think, is walking away from a situation that is going badly with regret that I didn't do the right thing, going back and doing something again and again and again, and constantly having yet another disappointment. Yeah. I don't want that for you. I don't want every month to be a disappointment. This is not the life that little girls imagine when they're, playing with their dolls.
I thought I'd be married at 24 and I wanted 4 kids and I wanted 2 boys, a girl and a boy. You had it all worked out. If they'd been twins to begin with, they'd been perfect. And a girl and a boy, I had it all mapped out. I even said to my brother once, I said, you can't call your child India because I want to call my child India. Because I went to India for a year and I loved it. And I was like, my little girl's going to be called India. That's it, I had it all planned. Oh, anyway.
Maybe she still will be. Hmm? Maybe she still will be.
Yeah.
I did worry at times about the intensity of other women that I'd met who were on this path. And I worried about how I was going to manage that for myself because I wanted this and I wanted this so badly. I wanted this more than I'd ever wanted anything before. But I also knew that it doesn't work for everyone.
But IVF and Danish sperm did work for Amanda. And at the age of 43, she finally managed to get pregnant. Her profile was as discouraging as Gemma's. She had several failed attempts and 2 clinics refused to give her IVF.
Luck, fortune, miracles, whatever you want to call it. I've had the lot. I feel like I've won the jackpot. Just can't wait to hold him in my arms. Quite often I kind of catch the school run on the bus and I just think, I don't want one like that. I don't want one like that. I don't want to be like her with them. Hi.
Oh, Amanda, hello.
Nice to meet you.
Donald.
Hello, Mr. Peebles. Occasionally I'd have a week and I'd be like, what the hell am I doing? But then that feeling of completeness and that hope of a family would come tumbling back in and I'd just be like, I'm going to be a different kind of mum. And I know every mum says that, I'm going to be different, but I just had to trust that if this was going to work and if somehow the universe decided that I was going to be a mum, that it would all be worth it in the end.
So far, Amanda's spent £25,000. Drugs have played a big part in her pregnancy, both in getting pregnant and now in staying pregnant.
Every morning and every evening I have to do an injection, and it is a blood thinner called Clexane, and it comes in this little pre-prepared syringe, and I hate it, and I've got to do it for 34 weeks. Get my little sterile pad out.
As a herbalist, I was just looking at this stuff, just thinking, I don't want to take this. Because I'd spent 5 months on a special fertility diet to make sure my egg quality was just right, and there was no wheat, no sugar, fresh vegetable juices every day, smoothies, high protein diet. I mean, I was just sort of like organic, you know, I was just organic.
Okay, now it's choosing the spot, which is never fun.
And I just had to sort of go, you're doing this, you want this baby, take the bloody drugs. It's so important. My child knows as he grows up that this was a choice I made with love right from the start. I tell my baby now that his donor dad was a very, very kind man who's helped me create the family I want. When my child is 18, he, because I know it's a boy, will have the right to go and investigate or find out identifying information about their donor parent.
Important to you?
Vital. It's not something I would never have considered having an anonymous donor.
Britain and 9 other European countries have now banned anonymous donors. But if you buy directly off the internet for home insemination, or if you go to Denmark for treatment, you can still choose an anonymous donor, and it's a choice many women continue to make.
Are you filming?
Yeah.
Ina is 19 years old and one of the very first Danish donor babies. Non-anonymous donors were only introduced in 2004. Ina's donor was anonymous.
The good thing about being a donor child and growing up alone with a single mother by choice is that I have had a lot of attention from my mother, and we have had a really great, well, in my case, a really great relationship. But I grew up in a small town, and I didn't know any other children who had been conceived in the same way that I had. So when I said that I didn't have a father, I was always called a liar because nobody understood how a child could not have a father. I felt sort of like an alien. I would just like to know who he is, get a face, instead of just having a number. I just like to see it's a real person of flesh and blood, so that would make me a real person of flesh and blood somehow, because it makes me feel that I was just, a baby made in a factory.
Ina's donor number is 137. She will, most probably, never be able to find him. But choosing a non-anonymous donor may not solve all the potential problems. The children still have to wait 18 years before they can make contact. And if and when a meeting happens, it could be a rather short and perhaps unsatisfactory affair.
As a donor,
Yeah.
do you feel, what sort of responsibilities do you feel?
Responsibilities. No, I really don't feel not a real responsibility like that. No.
I just think I gave a helping hand, not like I expect them to give me anything back later. If they want, I will be here ready to drink a good cup of coffee, but if not, well, then it's perfectly fine.
If they turn up and they want a cup of coffee, I'm definitely gonna take that cup of coffee and pay for it as well, and to have a chat with my children. But I don't think I'm gonna become a great part of their life.
I mean, I don't hope that in 18 years a young person shows up and actually expects me to be a dad. because I'm not. And he or she would not be the sibling of my boys. It would just be a person that, yes, I would have some biological ties to, but that'd be it.
We don't have a relationship with this man at all. We never will, yet he is such a massive, massive part of our lives right now. And he's got no idea. He's wandering around, having a sandwich, going to work, and we are just absolutely in love with him. He doesn't know.
He's on his farm.
He's on his farm,
milking
doing his
cows.
farming. And we think about him 24/7.
It's taken nearly 4 long years for Kel and Anna to get here. Home Insemination Day, attempt number 3.
What we planned initially was we were hoping to have a nice romantic time by ourselves. When Kel got in from work, it was just going to be lockdown, candles on, and have a lovely time. And then for all of the days in the whole year that my parents could choose to come down and visit, it happens to be today.
We sort of don't really understand. We're sort of old school, if you like. We don't really understand what was going on.
All the
And then all of a sudden, there's all this. It's coming from Denmark, and everything's particularly alien, really.
It
isn't
is,
it?
yeah.
We don't really know. It's all sort of
It's all
weird.
new,
It's
isn't it?
weird to us. We live in the middle of nowhere. We don't really know what's going on.
Hi.
How's it going?
Here you go.
Fantastic.
Thank you
Okay.
very much.
Thank you very much. You got him?
Yeah, I
okay.
think so.
All right. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Cheerio. Bye-bye now.
Okay, well, it's yellow and cold and steely.
Send me a picture.
I will. Yeah, hold on, I'll give you to Dad.
Hello. It's a big one. It's a very big one.
Yeah, I've heard. Does it look like something from Back to the Future?
Excuse me, it might be a bit weird, but you just brought me the most amazing thing. Thank you.
No problem. No problem.
Thank you.
No, good luck. Okay, cheers. Thank you.
Hooray! Now, well, he's gone. Your wife's crying. Other than that, everything's cool.
Oh, okay. Well, when she stops crying, tell her to email me a picture.
Okay.
All right, I better go and get on with some stuff.
Okay.
All right, I'll see you all later.
Bye now.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Look at me.
Smile.
Are you?
So what percentage chance has this got for making you pregnant?
The sperm itself is fairly high, but because we're doing a home insemination and there isn't a clinic and there isn't a doctor, it's about 8%.
8?
Out of 100. You alright?
Yeah. How you doing?
I'm
Yeah?
good.
Yeah, you doing all right?
Come in.
It'd be nice to cut in.
Come in, come in.
This, when you look at it in the grand scheme of things, this could be the day that changes the rest of my life. This could be the most important day ever so far.
Don't have too much of a nice time, are you? Don't be out all night or anything.
Right, so what happens?
I reckon that's got to be cut off. Is my
With what, my
logic.
special sperm box opening kit?
Yes.
It's like that bit in Stars in Their Eyes, isn't it? Whoa! DK 809.
Handling of nitrogen tanks, step-by-step instructions how to open the inner nitrogen tank.
Don't take it out.
I want
you
to.
You don't need to, though.
But I want to, though.
Yeah, but I want to do loads of things that are needless, therefore I don't do them.
What am I doing? Do I undo
You just read
this?
the instructions. Pull this.
Oh no, it's this here.
It's not much of a safety barrier, is it?
Whoa, that is cool.
Right, well,
we should have been scientists, don't you think?
What's that then?
That's it.
That's our straws. Quick, grab one, grab one.
With what? Scissors?
No, not with scissors. Shh, shh. Look, we only want one.
Oh my god! It's going to burn. You're going to chuck it on the floor.
No, I'm not.
I'm tougher than you. Do you want me to do it?
Done. Put her back in.
Her?
Yeah, that's my boy. Where do I cut? You look, it's thawing there
you're
already. Look, it's thawing.
Oh, yeah. I think it's there. I don't think.
No, give it 10 minutes. So be patient. Fucking 33 years. She can't wait 7 minutes. How do you feel?
Impatient.
Besides impatient, stop fiddling with it.
Stop fiddling with it.
Leave
I
it,
want
just
to fiddle with
place
it.
it and allow it to be for a second. So how do you feel?
I feel excited. I feel only a teeny tiny little bit nervous.
I don't feel nervous. It's crazy, isn't it?
I think we should start now.
Right. So cut it off 5 mil.
Yeah.
Oh, well, this is it. Then that goes in there. Cut off the other end at 2.5 centimetres, which is just under the name. About there. And then you suck it back up.
With your hand, let me see. Oh my god.
There's a bit on the scissors if you want to lick it off. What do you want to do with this?
Do you want to go make a baby?
Let's do that. Let's go. When we've tried before, it's not been clinical. We've not had her up on a kitchen table, legs akimbo. We've been in our bedroom with the music we choose and the lights dimmed, and you know, it's been us making babies in the closest way possible that, you know, straight couples do it.
Was it really emotional?
Yeah, I cried first time we did our insemination. I cried like a big girl, didn't I?
Yeah.
It is, it's really emotional, because you suddenly do something, you stop and you think, I may well have just made a baby. Yeah, it's magic. It really is magic.
Oh, was it? It's heavy. You know, it is. It feels like you're doing a really big thing. You're purposely doing that to, you know, alter the course of your life. It's crazy.
I feel really happy and really positive, and I feel surprisingly calm, actually.
Hi.
For you, taking on motherhood as a single person, that's a big decision.
It's something that I know I can do. My mum left home when I was 4, and my dad brought me up, and I'd like to think that I could be a fraction of what he was to me.
And he brought you up as a single parent?
Yeah, I was the only girl in my school that was being brought up by her dad, that's for sure. He worked his socks off to ensure that we didn't feel the absence of our mum. So he was a great guy.
Holly's back at the Stork Clinic in Copenhagen after 2 failed inseminations. Her Danish friend Merete is with her again. As a friend looking on, do you feel for her? I mean, it's a tough journey she's on.
If she is to become pregnant, she will become a single mum. She hasn't got any parents. She's all on her own, as I see it, and I think it's tough for her. She appears to be a really strong woman, and she is, but she's also very fragile. And at the end of the day, she needs love and support like the rest of us.
What would your dad have thought about this?
He knew from a young age that I wanted to be a mum, so that was one of his wishes. So, obviously I miss him like hell, but yeah, I know that he's kind of with me in this process to a degree, so.
You know, this whole process of doing it on your own, no one can tell me what decision to make, you know, and the choices are all mine. And yes, if you have a partner, you make those decisions together. So the weight I feel almost on a daily basis is, you know, it's heavy, really heavy.
Gemma's checked into the hospital for her egg collection. Even after all the drugs and everything else Gemma and the clinic have done, there's still no guarantee she will have produced any eggs.
Please be an egg in there, please be an egg in there. If we don't find an egg, I'll come and tell you when you wake up. If we do find an egg, we won't see if the egg is a good egg that's fertilised till tomorrow morning. We'll know if there's an egg, but not if it's a good egg till tomorrow. Okay?
Yeah, thanks, Mary.
Last minute questions?
No, I think I'm all right.
Good. All right then.
Oh, thank you.
We'll do our best.
I know you.
Okay. You can see the needle there, the little white dot inside the black hole. So that's the needle inside the follicle. We're pushing the fluid back into the follicle, which effectively will hopefully dislodge the egg. One egg?
Yeah.
Oh, thank God, thank God, thank God. One egg. One egg. Got good news. We found an egg. So, that's another hurdle over.
Oh, another one to tick off for this.
Yeah. Okay. All right, my love. Thank you. Thank you. See you later.
Bye.
The beauty about the time we live in is that we can do this. You know, 100 years ago, I would be the spinster maiden aunt. You know, I would have been on the shelf for quite some time. The last 20 years, really. You know, I'm 43. And so to live in this modern age where I can access a healthy, sane man's sperm to make a baby, to make my own family, and for that to be more and more accepted these days, I'm so grateful I live now to be able to do this.
Amanda's getting herself organised for the imminent arrival of her baby son.
Are you excited? Are you scared? Are you happy?
I'm all three, Sue. I'm excited, I'm scared, and I'm happy. I really am. Can't wait to meet him. And then I'm kind of like, what now? And a few friends of mine have gone, ooh, are we having a kid? Oh, the house, it's going to get messy. And I kind of go, oh, yes, it might get a bit messy. And there might be little paw prints all over the walls, and hair's going to be like this. I'm not going to be slightly unkept. There's going to be no makeup, you know. There's going to be food plates piled up, and there can't be food plates piled up in the sink, but, you know, I'm going to have to lighten up. I don't even really like people coming over because they make a mess.
I think I thought it would be a little bit easier. The fact that it is a lifelong commitment, you don't really think about that at the time. It's very much about conceiving, having a healthy pregnancy.
Is it harder than you thought it would be?
Yeah. Yeah, a lot harder.
You do just change your life, and your life has to change, and then you embrace it.
I cried for a week when I found out that I was pregnant with twins. I mean, I'm going through the menopause now, and so I have hot flushes, and they have strops, and so we all strop out together.
You know, I had 45 years of there being just me, and now that's very different. It's not that I was unhappy before. I had I had a good life and I was very happy, but there was something missing. And now there isn't.
I'm going to bring my child into an environment where love is going to be the key element, and they're going to know they're going to be the most wanted people. Is that? I just think it will complete me. It's not a void. It will just complete my life and my vision of how I want to have a life. You know, I'm only here once. I want to make the most of it.
Gemma's one egg has been successfully fertilised and is now ready to be implanted.
Gemma, are you ready to watch your embryo on the screen?
Yeah.
There you go. That's what an embryo looks like.
That's not any old embryo, that's my embryo.
That's not any old embryo, that's your embryo. So what's happening now is Marianne picks up the embryo in the catheter. Now once the embryo's inside the catheter, it's too tiny to see because it's microscopic. So she'll put a little air bubble at the tip of the catheter. So when I do the transfer, what I'm actually seeing is the air bubble going in.
Right, wow.
Sorry, my darling, I press in a little bit.
It's okay.
Okay, the transfer has been done.
I'm quite emotional. I can't believe I actually got this far. Thank you, Mary. Thank you.
So Thursday week, you'll be able to do a pregnancy test. What needs to happen is that the embryo needs to keep on growing. So
Okay.
we've got a copy of the pictures for you. So there's your embryo. There's...
Oh, thank you.
I know. Most people take the journey, you know, with somebody else holding their hand. And I think that's what's hard. I think to do this on your own is, you know, every step of the way. But it's kind of like the start of parenting on your own. I think parenting on your own is just tough because there's always decisions that you're going to have to make. But kind of, you know, deep inside that you're going to make the right ones.
Did you, for 1 minute, think you'd get this far?
I hoped. Well, I worked out I'm in the 10% range now because I actually got to transfer, you know. But before that I was 2%, now I'm 10%. Yeah. And it's 10% possibility, not 90% not. You know what I mean? In my mind it's 10% it's going to work.
I wish I'd spoken to you sooner. I wish that and all my happy days, not that I'm the Fonz, you understand, but, you know, days where I was like all relaxed, and when we had a couple of days away. Are you pregnant yet? Are you pregnant yet? Are you pregnant yet then? You know, maybe it was just the idea of it that made me happy and sparkly and look, I don't know, contented. There's a little part of me that just wants to take a little test and not tell anyone and just put myself out of my misery. And of course I'm not going to do that, but it's the longest 2 weeks.
Anna found out the next day that she was not pregnant. Holly went back to the clinic in Denmark a further 3 times. After the 5th insemination, she reluctantly changed her donor and tried a new one for attempt number 6.
Excuse the lack of composure or running mascara, but yeah, I found out that I'm pregnant and I'm elated and everything I thought it would be, basically. It seems that all the want and the craft and the money and the flights and everything has paid off.
Just while I've got you on camera, I just want to say, on film, you've been a total rock to me throughout my attempts, and I'm happy to tell you that I'm pregnant.
You are joking.
No, I tested twice today, I'm pregnant.
Oh my god, I'm getting goosebumps all over.
Oh my
Yeah! We did it! Pop the champagne!
Ginger beer isn't quite champagne, but it will do.
I'm going to be an auntie.
True story.
I'm on course for being a mum. And this is the best feeling ever. The best.
Well, I'm 41 weeks plus 3 days, so technically 10 days overdue. I'll show you my bump. It is absolutely humongous. I'm going to miss it. I'll miss my bump.
Amanda was 2 weeks overdue when she went into labour on Wednesday morning. We didn't hear from her again until she sent us this. 1 week later.
It's 2 a.m. on Tuesday the 6th of May, and after hopes of a beautiful home birth, I very nearly achieved on Friday, and very nearly achieved on Friday the 2nd of May. All went to a rather dramatic climax on the morning of Saturday the 3rd of May, where I had an emergency C-section after being in labour for active labour for nearly 3 days. When I was on the operating table, they found out I had a very rare condition that is caused by long labour, and it can be fatal for the baby and the mother. I'm really struggling with not blaming myself because I wanted this home birth, and I'm so worried that I've caused this. I know every baby is precious. Every mother will say that about the child. He's my world. And I can't bear that I may have put him through this. I just can't bear it. But the good thing is he's really improving. And I couldn't be at that hospital. They've been so kind to me. When I haven't felt like being kind to myself.
I'm finally at the end of my 2-week wait. I've got one more night to get through. In 7 hours' time, I'm going to be doing my wee test to see if I'm pregnant. I feel anxious, terrified, excited, worried, just a whole concoction of different emotions. Anyway, we'll all soon know, that's for sure anyway. At least this waiting will be over. So, night-night. Really, this is like the next stage of my life. It's the first day of the next stage of my life, whatever happens now. So here goes. This little flashy symbol saying it's waiting. God, I can't tell you how fast my heart is beating. It's just not doing anything. Oh, it's flashing a symbol saying waiting. I'm not pregnant. I'm not pregnant.
No one knows how long it will take, how much it will cost, or how hard it will be to try and create a Viking baby and become a mother this way. Holly spent 8 months and £6,000 going back and forth to Denmark to get pregnant. Her son is due to be born on December the 16th. Baby Aaron was allowed home 10 days after his birth. Amanda's house isn't quite as tidy as it once was. Kel and Anna abandoned home insemination and decided to go for egg sharing.
Today's the day the eggy bears have their picnic.
They went to a clinic in Wales and discovered that Kel was a bit of an egg factory. She produced 45 follicles. 9 of Kel's eggs were fertilised with a new Danish donor. The embryos will be transferred into Anna's womb later this year. And finally, Gemma. She's still coming to terms with the fact she may now never give birth. But she's determined to have children in her life, one way or another.